Alright, what's going on? We're actually just doing parkour, but, it's a story time episode, guys. So, I'm gonna start doing these and telling funny stories that has happened to me. We already been that way. We're not gonna go that way. If you watched that last video, it's a dead end over there. But, we're gonna talk about my school, okay? So, I went to school, like, every other day, and it was a pretty normal day. It was more of a free day, though, because it was the day before Thanksgiving break, which, as you can tell, was not long ago at all. So I fell again on the same jump. Why am I like this? Oh, how's he flying? You gotta be like admin or something, like dev, creator. But what happened is when I went to school, I have these A days and B days, and A days suck, and B days are the best, in my opinion. I love B days. It has all my favorite classes in that one day, and it's usually just a free day where we just chill, play video games, have fun. It's amazing, and it's basically like every day, just except you're at school. So the way B days go is I have science. I mean, not science. I have history, and during history, that class is complete madness. There's no learning in that class. The teacher will try and teach. People will be running. People will be bumping into each other with their chairs. People will be throwing stuff. Absolutely crazy. Then, after an hour and 30 minutes of seeing tons of pencils and stuff fly across the room like we're in pre-K, we, get to the next period. Next period, you may ask. I forget. Wait, what was it? I always mix up the days. I want to make sure I don't mix it up. It was... oh yeah, Intro to CAD. So, we go there. It's one of the more boring-ish classes. It's a fun class. It's a fun class. It's one of the really fun classes. But, it can be boring at times. It's more of one of those classes like, okay, it's fun when you're doing the stuff, but when you just have to listen, sometimes it can be boring. Even the teacher knows that. The teacher announces, like, you just got, I know it's boring, but you gotta stick with me. So, the teachers there are really laid back, which is nice. But, then we get into lunch. And here's where the day starts to go downhill, okay? This is where everything, 3 minutes into the video, and everything's going down. This is where the school might not even survive to see another day, eventually. So, we go to lunch, and we have this really mean lunch guy. I know you can see where this is going. And he doesn't let us talk. He makes us be quiet the entire lunchroom. We're not allowed to talk to our friends. Not allowed to get up out of our seats. We're not allowed to go anywhere. We're not allowed to do anything except eat and then be quiet. Very, very rude guy. And then he's gone. They replaced him with this really nice lady. So that was amazing. It was an amazing day. And he was yelling at people for being late to lunch. He was like, I was talking to my friends. He yelled at me because I was talking during lunch. It made no sense whatsoever. And then one day he left the room for the entire period. Everyone was up out of their seats. Everyone was talking, having fun. That sounds amazing, doesn't it, right? Finally, an actual lunch period where we can chill out and talk to our friends. No. People were flickering the lights on and off. People were screaming. People were falling. People were downloading Minecraft bootleg games on their mobile devices. My friend on the other side of the room was playing Sky Wars. He brought an Xbox controller. There was a food fight. People were throwing oranges across the room. Bananas splattered on the wall. It was just absolute chaos. People were mixing their food together, seeing like what food combos they could make until they threw up. Because the lunch food there, lunch food sucks. Someone found a empty Skittles wrapper in their mashed potatoes, so that was always fun. And then once the chaotic day was over, because oh no, you would think that's it, right? You would think that's it. No, it's not, because we have 2 more periods in the day. Math is absolutely chaos as well. It's not in this video. I will tell you a part. Someone was eating yogurt in the class, and then you hear from the other side of the room the beans, what the voice, but it's yogurt, and that was me. So, but the math is just chaotic. Teacher gets pissed off a lot. People will make random noises at times, mostly me. And then people will just do random things. How do I always mess up that job? I suck at this. But maths is always, it's boring, but it can be interesting. Just because people mess around. And ELA is the next period of the story, right? And ELA is worse than lunch. To put it this way, everything I described at lunch, except 10 times worse, because there's 30 kids. In my lunchroom, there's like 8 kids. So, keep in mind, because we're divided, because COVID. So keep in mind, there's 30 kids doing all of that 10 times worse and extra. It's like DLC bonus content right here, alright? So, it's horrible, dude. It's freaking horrible. And then people... and then there are some calm days, right? As soon as the teacher announced, "Oh wow, you guys are doing so great. You've been so quiet. You've all been doing your work." People start playing the screaming goat noise, bro. The teacher will be in the middle of explaining the questions, and then you just hear like a goat screaming. From the one video, you'll hear the fitness gram pacer test is a multi-stage. It's just so random. And then I'm surprised that teacher doesn't have a headache from our class yet. And then we go back. And surprisingly, that teacher likes that class. Like, she likes our class, even though how chaotic we are. But she says the juniors are worse than the freshmen. So, which, yeah, okay, alright. I mean, it's sort of believable. But, yeah. And then, the final period of the day. The period everyone keeps staring at the clock to get the hell out of school. So they don't have to deal with it anymore. Can go home, play video games. Because, come on, let's be honest. School can be fun. If you have the right teachers. Most of the time that will never happen. And that's why kids hate school. Because school sucks. School is boring. Nobody likes it. Unless you're like, I'm not saying you don't like it. Like, if you like it, good for you. I'm not gonna be like, ew. But, like, I'm not gonna pick on you or anything. I'm just saying, most people don't enjoy school. I don't enjoy school. I enjoy the school I go to, though. I don't enjoy... See, let me put it this way. I don't enjoy school. but I like the teachers there, because the teachers are laid back, they're really nice, they're funny, they can take a joke. And if you just stop doing your work, they're just like, well, you don't get that assignment then complete. That's on you. Well, oh well. So like you don't really have to do any work. You could just sit there and play video games, but that still will affect your grade. Because we have a thing called professionalism grade there, and it's basically depending on your behavior is how you're graded, that's combined with the normal grading system with Power School, which is this online device where you can see what grades you are at all times. So that's not fun at all. But certain teachers just let us fool around and be goofy. The kids will be kids. So those are the teachers I like. The teachers that are like really strict, I don't like. Parkour challenge end. Go to the starting line. What the heck? Okay. But Spanish is the final and last class that everyone is waiting. And that class mainly is more calm. On the calm side, everyone's worn out from the day. And it's kind of just like, okay, do the work really fast, and then for like the last 40 minutes of class, we'll play video games. Because we don't have a lot of work in that class usually. And when we do, it gets done pretty fast, especially because the teacher does give us permission to use Google Translate in the middle of the class. So that's always good. So if you're like me and you don't understand Spanish, I mean, I'll look at a Spanish word, I'll know what it means. I can't speak Spanish, but I'll know like what certain words mean, because it's either, okay, it's just a normal English word with spelled differently, or it sounds like that, so it must be that, and then it's usually that. Unless it's fire truck in Spanish. Somehow it's like, I don't know. I'm not good with learning new languages, if I'm being honest. So I'm the one who uses Google Translate in that class. But most of the time, like I said, we're just playing video games. But, thing is, every school, if you have computers, you're gonna be playing video games in the middle of your assignment. You're kids, there's no question that you're not going to be doing that. And of course, every kid does that, except for these two kids that are teachers' pets. But I'm not gonna name names because I'm not being rude. But you know, there's always those few kids that are really well on their behavior, or they're just a teacher pet in general, so you know they're gonna be well good, or it's just a smart kid that you know, okay, that's a smart kid, he's gonna pay attention, or she's gonna pay attention. But see, problem with the smart kids, there is no problem with them. The only problem is they're a warning signal, bro. You're taking a test, the teacher says it's hard, you know you're screwed. You see the smart kids start to cry, you even know you're more screwed, because there ain't no way you're getting an A on that test. Maybe like a D. If you're like me, that's gonna be like a DF. If you're in like, okay, you're above average, probably like a C minus, right? If you're just normal, like just normally average, oh, you're screwed, bro. And you gotta get lucky. And then if you're like really, really smart and you have all A's and B's, well, good for you, because if you're one of those smart kids, you're crying. That ain't gonna look good on your record, bro. But it's just, Spanish can be annoying. And I mean that. Like, I physically mean every word of that. And here's the reason why. I do play games in Spanish, I will admit that. But I don't click. I play like mouse or drag games and stuff, or like key games for like a keyboard. People will bring their mouse and play like games like gun games, like online gun games, like Crunker and stuff, and they will physically spam click the mouse in the middle of class. So you'll be hearing like in the middle of the class, and you're trying to focus. Like, say for example, it's assignment you do not understand whatsoever, and you need to bring that grade up. Otherwise, you're gonna get grounded. You're like so focused, trying to be like so focused, and you just hear in the background. It's it's so annoying, bro. Crunker's a fun game. I play it in a history class. But Spanish is one of the classes that I don't, because I do not understand Spanish at all. I don't, like, I know how to say, I might know how to say bicycle in Spanish. I know how it's spelled, but I don't know how to pronounce it, like, bicycle, or, I don't know. I tried. I'm sorry if that offends anyone who's Spanish watching the video. I'm not trying to offend anyone. I know how it's spelled, I don't know how to pronounce it. See, I know how a lot of things are spelled in Spanish. But I don't know how to pronounce them. Because apparently I was trying to pronounce one of the words, and I pronounced something that was really bad. And I translated what I said. And it was something very sexual. So that was not fun. That was not a good experience for me. That's why I don't like learning other languages. Because you say one wrong thing and it turns into a whole nother word. So like if you mispronounce something in Spanish, it's a whole nother word. I feel so bad for Spanish people. Or like any people in that culture. Because say for example they're stuttering or they have like a condition or something. Or like they just can't speak in that day and they say something else that they weren't trying to say. It could come out as something so inappropriate. Like, I think isn't Spanish like one of the hardest languages to learn as well? I know it's one of the most common languages. But, oh, like, oof, I cannot imagine having to go through that. It must suck. It really must suck. But, and then, after Spanish, the day's over. I come home, I have to walk home because I take the bus. So, I walk home. And this is just great. There's murder hornet nests. One comes out of the hole, right? Oh my gosh, dude. Freaking huge. I just keep walking because I don't want to mess with it. It's a murder hornet. No one's going to want to mess with it unless you're just plain stupid. Like me. I am stupid, but I'm not stupid enough to try and kill myself. So, actually, like, accidentally, because I'd rather live, if I'm being honest. I do not want to die, and if I were to die, I do not want to die from a bug. So, like, I'm sure if someone's gonna die, you obviously want to die in a more memorable or cool way, besides like, oh, you know, I tripped and face planted on the floor, and then I cracked my head open and died. I'm sure someone has done that. I'm sure they have. Because knowing how much history there is in the world, I would feel bad for that person. I'm sure multiple people have done that. Because maybe they bled out or something. I don't know. I don't know. It's messed up. It really is. Like, who knows? For all you know, you could die from a leaf touching you. Yeah, I said that right. A leaf. Because what if the leaf is filled with radiation? You don't know that. Nah, but for real, the world is very dangerous. So you gotta be careful though. But So watch out for those murder hornets, is the, what's the word? The lesson of this part of the video. Don't mess around with murder hornets, because I walked near a nest when I was walking home, and one of them started chasing me down, and I ran so fast. It stopped chasing me once I got, like, maybe, I don't know, like 12, 13 feet away from its nest. So maybe it was guarding it like eggs or something. I don't know. But it came out of the nest, and then for no reason, it just started chasing me. I didn't bother it. I left it alone, and it just went, you know, today's a good day to chase a random stranger and traumatize them, because I'm a jerk. I like doing that. I like traumatizing little children. So, because I'm not the only one who was chased by the same, maybe the same murder hornet. Usually murder hornets live in like groups of, what, 3, right? Because their nests are big. But the entry is small. I'm not sure what groups they live in, how big of the groups they are. I don't want to find out. But I saw a little tiny child running from this same nest. And I'm like, oh no! Because he tried doing that water trend on TikTok where he pours water and it comes up and you catch it in the bottle. Guess what? It came out of the other hole. So, I hope that kid is okay. I don't know. I just saw him running and he disappeared. Hopefully the murder hornet didn't double team him with the boogeyman to kill that kid. I'm not sure. But I hope he's okay. Because the kid looked like he was maybe like 8. Like 8 or 9 when he was running. I don't know what he was doing alone. He ran into a house around the corner. So, I guess he was just wandering off. Or like his parents were allowing him to take a walk by himself, I'm not sure. I mean, when I was 8 or 9, I wasn't even allowed to, like, stay home alone. Like, I had to have, like, a babysitter or something, like, I had to go. Like, or I had to go to my grandparents' house or something. Like, I was not allowed to stay home alone until I was in maybe, like, 10, 11, and then I was allowed to. And, oh, I feel so bad for that kid. And a lot of weird things happen in my neighborhood. That'll be a, probably multiple videos for another day. Or maybe later, I don't know. I'm not really doing anything unless I make plans. But, yeah. Very, very interesting. And when I finally got home, I was so out of breath. And I used to take an inhaler, so my mom's like, oh my gosh, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I was running from a murder hornet. And I had to tell my dad about it. Because we don't know if I'm allergic to murder hornets or not. I don't think I am. I've been stung by a wasp, so I'm assuming I'm not. And considering that fact, because my mom is, so I could have grown an allergy. Because I could have grown one, and I didn't want to take any chances. Because I used to love apples; they were my favorite. And now I'm allergic. I'm allergic to them. I can't eat them raw. I can eat apples, but if they're raw, like they're just normally picked from a tree, unless they're cooked, I can't eat them. It is so weird. It is so weird. But considering that, I didn't want to take any chances. So naturally, like any normal person, I didn't. And I told my dad about it. And I showed him a picture of what it looked like. The thing was like the size of the palm of my hand. And he goes, that's not a murder hornet. People are calling them murder hornets, or they're getting them mixed up. That's a cicada killer. They don't hurt people unless you bother them. And I'm like, but it was chasing me. And it's like, it's probably just a coincidence. Or like I said earlier, it's probably guarding something. And I'm like, so the next day, I go the opposite direction. I take the long way home with this heavy book bag and a like 80-pound suitcase. Because I have so much stuff to carry. And I go there, and I'm like, okay, maybe the next day I'll be fine. Go there the next day. And I'm fine. So I just kept going that way. But now every day, I look for that murder hornet, the same murder hornet hole, and now it's gone. So I'm looking for it. And it was moved. There's another one. And I don't know if it's murder hornet hole anymore, because multiple things make anthill structures. So now, I start running home again, just in case. So I don't get chased down. What is this? What the? So, that's technically 2 stories in one video. A big story and mini story. So, naturally, like all the time, make sure to check out the other video to do the poll votes, vote what skin I'm going to be using, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. And also, let me know if you want to see more Storytime videos like this one. And if you do, I will make sure to make more. And definitely make them shorter, because this is almost a half-hour long. And I don't want to be a bother to your time, if you like, because I know some people don't have a lot of time on their hands, blah, blah, blah. So, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.